Good morning, traders and investors. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Benzinga's pre-market prep. And I think there's only one thing I can say. What's
What's
up? What's
up?
up? Or
What's up?
what's or what is going on in this market, Dennis? I know you're on a tirade about this. What did they spend, like 94 billion for an app or something? And what did Facebook do? This is unbelievable.
It's a really good app, though, apparently. Brent, tell us all about it because I know you're about
Oh
the only
man.
person I know that actually uses this. Tell us.
Let's see. Okay. Um,
You mean people use it?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like people are asking me what's so good about WhatsApp, and I go, I don't know. I just use it, and I've gotten like a number of people to start using it also.
But
So
what is it? What
it
app is
it's
it,
it's
man?
a,
What does it do? Why can't I
Chat.
just like
It's
why
chatting.
can't
I
I
know
just text you
the
like Brent?
mobile chat
Brent,
Okay.
that
what are you
links
doing for
all
dinner?
iPhones and Blackberries and everything. Does it not?
Yeah, what's it
Like the
do?
mobile chat across all mobile phones.
Well, let's see. If I have some family in Singapore, let's say, and maybe they don't even have a mobile plan, I can WhatsApp them for free. I mean, for 99 cents the annual cost of WhatsApp, but I mean, it's a global, speedy chat platform. There is one feature that I really like is there is really a really nice way to organize your chats so I can kind of jump between. We have a news desk chat, so the news desk chatting over here, and then I have like my family chat. I can jump over here. Sometimes I find myself. Let's see how to say this. I find myself having different conversations with the same people in different chats, and I'm like, wait, I'm talking to this guy over here. Oh, I'm talking to this guy over here about something totally
I,
different.
I didn't know you had relatives in Singapore.
I just made that up.
But I hear that this app is so good that someone can text you even if you don't have a phone that you can get the text message.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's you can use it on your iPad. You can use it on another tablet. It's an app. It's not necessarily something mobile. It's kind of more so web based. I suppose I could say.
So what do you think about this, Dennis? I know this is going to get you excited, and you are. I'm surprised Facebook is down because I thought that you would be buying every share that was
So
offered.
excited, like to throw 16 billion around like nothing. That's very exciting. 4 billion in cash, 12 billion in shares. You're telling me there's another potential 3 billion on the table too. This deal could be as much as 19 billion dollars. Holy cow. Why did we not start a chatting app?
Oh,
Why?
I
That
don't.
is unbelievable. This feels like the tech bubble all over again, doesn't it? When they were coming and buying, companies of the size
It
of
really
7-Eleven
does.
stores for 15
Unfortunately,
billion dollars. That is just an insane price to pay. I can't believe it. But Brent says it's good. Go through the users. There's a lot of users, right, Brent? We'll give them that.
okay.
What's the
Let me pull this up. So there are. Let me just say that as I'm reporting this last night, I got excited that it was WhatsApp, and then I seen the value to almost 20 billion, and I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna start shorting Facebook immediately. This is way too much. And then I started getting into some of the numbers on WhatsApp, and they are pretty mind blowing. Let me go through a couple of those real quick. So we got greater than 450 million monthly active users with about 70% active engagement on any given day. That's growing about 1 million registered users per day. We have over 600 million photos uploaded per day, over 200 million voice messages per day, over 100 million video messages sent per day, and here's kind of the bombshell. WhatsApp messaging volume is now approaching the entire global SMS telecom volume. So we're talking all the text messages in the world are now just a little bit more than all of the WhatsApp messages in the world. That is 19 billion 19 billion sent and 34 billion messages received per day on WhatsApp.
Well, obviously, Facebook is going to have to figure out a way to monetize this.
That's what
Obviously,
I'm
with the
saying.
with all the traffic and with everything, there's a couple. Let's look at Facebook technically. And initially, when this news came out, it went down to 64.18, and that was just after going out at its all-time high. It went off the board on Friday at 69. Excuse me, it had a high at 69.08, but pulled back a little bit. All-time high close at 68.06. You got that spike down here in the pre-market to 64.18. The rebound rally up to 67.50. Pretty wide range for this, just kind of holding in here at the $67 level. I'm going to look at the range from yesterday. 67 was the low from yesterday's trading. We're 25 cents away from there. I figure you get above 67, they can rally this thing back up to the. I'd use this all-time high close of 68.06 as resistance. But one thing about this, and I'll give Facebook a little bit of credit for, is they're doing this ridiculous valuation of their stock. They're
Yep.
they're dumping it. They're shoving. I mean, hey, if I was the dude getting this stock from Facebook, I'd be like, get me out. What can I sell the stock? Let me out. I'd be out at the market. I would cash out. Of course, Facebook will continue to go higher, but they're doing something with their stock and their stock appreciation. So I'll give the company credit for that.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that point, Joel. Obviously, Facebook has been on a tear. I think the valuation is still ridiculous up here, and they're using it to acquire companies that have a lot of growth. So that is the good news. They did use $4 billion in cash. I would have liked to seen this an all stock deal where they didn't actually give them cash as well. But you got to give them credit. They're going out there, they're looking at the growth, and they're trying to acquire growth, and they're trying to continue to grow the business and grow the earnings. What do you pay a year for this thing, Brent? You said $1 a year or something?
I've been using it for about 2 years now. It was free for the first year, and then I had to pay 99 cents at some
And
point
it,
a year
and it,
after, and it's going to be 99 cents a year moving forward.
and they have now. Would you pay $10 for this? Just
I would
curious if
not.
they were to check the
And that's
price.
that's really kind of the thing too. Like all my friends and I were using WhatsApp, and we're like, "Oh man, we got to get charged for something," and then everyone's like, "Oh, it's just $1." It's not even $1. It's 99 cents. So they kind of get you with that, I would say.
Did any of your friends refuse to pay the dollar?
Not a single one. Yeah,
Not
and
a single
and
one.
there was one or two friends who were kind of using it in the beginning, and then I have probably maybe 40 or 50 friends that are
You
now
got that
using
many
it.
friends? Holy
Geez,
man, you are a
I
It's
guess
popular
so.
guy.
popular, man.
The other thing that I think I might have had this on my phone once when Lisa and Emily went to Punta Cana for Emily's spring break. Lisa, hooked me up with these apps. One of them was Viber. I was on that. I'd still get Viber messages. I gotta ask Emily to delete that for me. And I think I had this on there too. I mean, I think the international feature is something that is appealing, but it's not the dollar per user they're looking to monetize this. They're obviously just going to
Exactly.
pepper people with ads, and more information about where people are at, so they can blitz them with ads.
Well, that was definitely like a concern right away as a WhatsApp user. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to WhatsApp? It's gonna be all Facebooked out. But there was definitely some reassuring by the CEO of WhatsApp saying nothing's gonna change at least right now. Zuckerberg on the call last night said something like, "We're gonna go for the growth first before we start trying to monetize it." So they're gonna move over a billion users, and then kind of start to see what they can do with ads. But again, the CEO of WhatsApp reiterating that there's not going to be ads on the app as of right now, anytime soon.
And what's it? Some 20-year-old kid that invented this?
I don't know his age.
He's sitting back, relaxing on a beach right now, buying an island, putting the bids out there. He's just rolling, Joel. Telling
Yeah,
you, we should have came up with the chat app. Unbelievable.
selling Facebook calls and buying puts. I hope that's what he's doing with it. But we'll see what happens. I mean, stock new all-time high. So,
It
but
is good that the stock is coming back. I'll tell you that because this thing, about even 15 minutes ago before we started the show, was in the 65 handle. It's now in the 67 handle. We're only down 93 cents on this right now. So here they go out. They pay a ridiculous price for the growth. So they punish the stock off the hop, but it's coming back. It's coming back. These Facebook buy the dippers are still obviously out here. And it's pretty impressive, the rally actually here just in the last 10 minutes.
yeah, you also got some people that have been getting some shorts rammed up there. You know what here, and
Yep.
anybody any short-term player here, is looking at profit. Now we're right back up at the all-time high close here, ticking six. Oh no, we missed it by a buck here. So we'll see what happens. But Dennis, how about that big red bar yesterday when the Fed came out and made some statements, and also the IMF? It's so funny. We came right up to that critical resistance point, and
Yeah.
then the news came out and took us back down. They catch you off guard?
No, actually, I wasn't really trained. You know what? During the middle of the day, like I said, I'm not as active in the middle of the day, especially when you have pending news coming out like that. So I didn't actually get hit on, and I was not very active. I don't usually trade between 11 and 2 as much as I do at the open and the close. And especially when there's news coming out, I kind of back off, let the dust settle, and figure it out. But I'll tell you, if you were selling that resistance point again yesterday, you were rolling it in again, 1840s every time we get up there. We sell back off. It's like a dozen highs up there in the 1840s. So you got to continue to respect that resistance. It's unbelievable.
Right, and then we talked about the resistance being well defined, but the support really wasn't. And we came back down to that 1830 level. I had no reason. I had no number there, and it held up on the morning break, held up on the second break, but then we came down through it later in the afternoon. We took it. We're continuing to move lower this morning. I'm looking at this 1817 and a quarter low that we have in the issue, and that coincides with the 3-day low. So I think we hold above this 1860. I'd give it another point under the 17 and a quarter. Then we can drift back up. Now under 1816, things open up for another 14 handles on the downside.
We had a lot of stocks rolling over yesterday. I know you were talking about Apple with a big reversal there yesterday. Obviously, closed fairly kind of the day before was almost the tell because if you look at the 2-day chart here, we went up, we got over the 550 area, but then we kind of closed weak, which was a concern. And then yesterday, the bottom just fell out of it. Today, the stock is getting downgraded by Barclays here, so it's down
Ooh.
another $4 here today. Apple trading at 533.50. So here we are 2 days later, we've given back almost 20 points on Apple.
Yeah, I was hoping it was just going to hang up there at that 550 level for another day or two, and then got a little cheap on the premium on the weekly options. I was hoping to perhaps pick up a put spread lower, and it just kind of it snuck out of there. What's very interesting about this move was the close on the day before earnings was 550.50, and we broke down all the way under 500, 493 and 55, and then on Tuesday we came all the way back to 551.19. So all those people that held it from the mark or bought more when it dipped under 500 with Icon and the company itself got right back up to that level, and you could see it had the consolidation here, 4 days at tight ranges, couldn't hold that 550. Now, the interesting thing coming down today in Apple is you've already taken out yesterday's low, which was I believe 533, 534.35. That coincided with the 34.20 low. I don't know. It's tough to find support now. The resistance was well defined. I guess below 530.69, which was the pre-market low. You also had a low at 520. Call 530. Under 530 here, Dennis. It's hard to find support in this thing.
And a lot of stocks pulling back. You know what I really noticed yesterday was the financials. That we know that they were not participating. Besides J.P. Morgan, stocks like Morgan Stanley, stocks like Goldman Sachs had not really participated in the most recent rally all the way back up to the highs. Look at that Morgan Stanley chart. It was the first one to break down. That's always the tell. When the market's going high and your stock is not going higher, that's telling you that there's other people out there that want to be out of it. And Morgan Stanley just collapsed yesterday. When the market started selling off, Morgan Stanley led the charge down, lost 70 cents yesterday. Goldman Sachs lost a couple of dollars yesterday. I'm looking at the chart of Citigroup. That was weak, losing $1.50. Bank of America was weak yesterday. These financials do not look good.
Coming up on some interesting level too. Besides just closing off the low of the day, 28.89 low and a close of 8.96. You're all the way back, Dennis. In fact, you are. Well, no, you're not quite below. You're right at the lows that we had at the beginning of February when the market broke down, and the S&Ps are some 90 points higher. So relative strength on this is terrible. Looking at this 28.78 low, you take that out, then you need to go back. Oh boy, you even had some lows in November here at the 28.70 level. So huge level for Morgan Stanley here. Could be trading below levels from last November.
Let's move on to the big gun that reported earnings last night. We were all waiting for Tesla here, and then Facebook kind of stole their thunder a little bit there. But Tesla is popping big time here. 33 cents versus 19 cents, the earnings from last night. Sales of 761 million, expecting to deliver 35,000 plus Model S units in 2014. And Tesla popping nicely up 23 points right now here in the pre-market to new all-time highs.
Yeah, they took this saying people were leaning the wrong way into the yesterday's trading. They kind of hit this thing, closed right off the low of the day. 193.41 was the low, 93.64. News came up. They took it immediately up there, initially to 220. Then the second wave took it up to 225, even nice round number. So 225 is the pre-market high. Since then, you had a drift down to the 211 area, so we'll use that as minor support. And I've been chopping around this 215 area over the last hour or so.
Deutsche Bank downgrading the stock here today. So you do have one downgrade. Also, Musk was on Bloomberg TV last night, said they have not met with Apple. So all those rumors of the Apple Tesla will be put to rest a little bit here right now because there's nothing imminent happening there. At least that's what Musk is saying. So but regardless, I think the units that they're looking at, 35,000 plus, is above even the most optimistic estimates here. And you got Tesla really popping off
That's
of that.
still not a
So,
lot of cars, though, is it? I mean,
uh,
35,000 cars. I mean, they do probably generating a lot of profit, and I know it's above expectations, but that just doesn't seem like a lot of cars.
no. Well, I mean, and you look at it when you compare it to a Ford or a GM, you can't even compare it. It's not even in the realm of the same, vicinity here. But I guess they're looking at the growth. They're saying that this is obviously going to continue to grow, and the numbers look good here, at least in the short term. But we know these Momo stocks, when they got the momentum on their side, they just continue to go. We saw, like you can't even look at them from a valuation perspective. You can't look at Facebook. You can't look at Tesla. You can't even look at Netflix from a valuation perspective anymore. They're just looking at growth numbers. The growth is good. They're buying them, and that's hard to, if you're trying to short Tesla here, you've been getting punished basically for the last 2 months and punished hard. So it was $140 2 months ago.
Dennis, is it really fair to value or try to compare Tesla to GM and Ford though? I mean,
No,
that's
well, that's what we're saying.
yeah,
Ford and GM
yeah,
have no
right,
growth at all.
right.
So, or very little growth whatsoever. So it's all based on growth here. So you can't compare there. It is apples and oranges to a certain extent, but it is scary when you got Tesla. What's the market cap of Tesla here now? Because it's probably, I bet you it's getting close to half of Ford's, isn't it? I'm gonna go look.
Yep, I'm on it too. Let's see what
Let's go check
Ford's
out what the
at.
market cap is. Tesla market cap as of the close yesterday, so
20,
it's going to be
24,
higher, was
20,
$25 billion, so it's probably like $28 billion now. Ford's market cap,
just over 60. I see.
so you almost half the valuation of Ford. That is, but you look at it from a valuation perspective, the market isn't looking. You got to respect momentum. Like I lived through the tech bubble, I was trained through the tech bubble, and those stocks, if you were looking from valuation perspective and shorting, you were shorting probably early, 98, 99, 2000. These things just kept running. The bubble did eventually burst, and a lot of times these ridiculous valuations do end and do end ugly. But how do you know when that happens? It's so hard to fight the trend, and the trend just continues to be higher on the stock.
Hey, J Dot's asking, has anybody ever driven a Tesla or taken it for a test drive here? You have, Jake? Oh, Joe has? Is there a dealer around here? Yeah. No, I haven't, man. I just I don't mess around with fancy cars. I just like to get to point A to point B. But just keep an eye. 225 was the all-time high in the pre-market. What do you think, Dennis? Think you can get back up there today or not?
I don't think so, actually. I think it's a little bit overdone at even being up 11%. I think 225 was just an overshoot. I think if you do get up there, I think you'll find all kinds of resistance in the 220s. But again, these things are so hard. Once the momentum gets going, it's it's hard to fade them. So Let's move on here. A couple other ones. Here's the stock that we know a little bit more about is Walmart. So we'll get away from this Momo stuff. Walmart reported earnings, adjusted earnings in line $1.60 versus $1.60, 129.7 billion versus 130.6 billion. So missing on the top line, coming in line on the bottom line. The guidance though, Q1 guidance $1.10 to $1.20. Analyst estimates were up at $1.24, raising the quarterly dividend by a big penny. And the,
Woohoo!
and the stock is down $1.20 here.
Not liking the earnings here. Walmart trading down here. Spiked down this morning here to. Oh no, this was last night. Went out 73.20 low. No, that was this morning.
That's this
Yeah,
morning. Yeah,
yep.
there it was.
73.20 low. You've rebounded after that 73.20 low. Rebounded back over the $74 level. Now it's interesting here. You're getting into yesterday's range. You need to get up to 74.41. That's quite a ways away from here. I think the resistance will start to be in the 74 handle. Looking at the daily levels, had the recent low of the move quite a bit lower here. That was in the lower 72s. Actually, wow, you had a mountain of lows between 72.27 and 72.54. That's another buck away from here, but that's where when the market had its swoon at the beginning of February, that's where Walmart got to. But Lisa and I were having a little chat about Walmart, and she was telling me that they are going to be putting in, they already have put in medical facilities that are run by nurse practitioners and some doctors' clinics. And she, read an article on it, and Walmart is going to try and be the king of urgent care. And I think CVS is trying to go that way. I think with insurance now and Obamacare, I mean, people are a little bit, uh, you know, less hesitant to go to the doctor because the initial money's coming out of their pocket. But hey, maybe if they're thinking they get a deal at Walmart on anything, so they'll get a deal on their medical care. They are doing it. They haven't started it yet in Michigan. So I guess their goal is to be like the largest urgent care provider. And if you think about it, they have these huge stores, right? And all
Yeah.
this real estate. Hey, I mean, they got the real estate, that investment's already made. They start popping up clinics here, right and left. People start going to Walmart to get their toilet paper. Maybe they'll go see the doctor too.
They try to get into everything, Walmart. I mean, when you've got the sales that they do and they're as big as they are, they've got to find growth, I guess, in different areas. So they look into. Weren't they looking into selling cars there like a few years ago or something? Remember when those rumors were coming up? Is there any Walmart car dealerships? Did that ever come to fruition? Anywhere in the States or anything? Remember
Ah,
those rumors, Joel? Like 3 years ago, they were coming out. Walmart's going to start car dealerships.
do
Maybe,
they have
maybe I
Walmart?
dreamt that up.
Yeah, I think you did. Did you? Yeah, maybe a little too much Nyquil or something there.
This cold is killing me. Sorry, folks.
Do they have Walmarts over there in Canada?
Oh yeah, Walmart is unlike Target because Target just came into Canada last year and it's not really catching on. Walmart is the go-to place in Canada. Everybody we used to have Zellers is what we used to have over here. And actually Target came in and bought Zellers, but Zellers was already dead. They were dead in the water. Walmart had taken and beaten them, and Walmart is the go-to place in Canada for everything.
I feel like there's got to be some pun here for the Canadian Walmart. I'm gonna have Jake work on this one.
But yeah, Walmart caught on big time in Canada. Target is not catching on in Canada, but Walmart, it's been over here for, I don't know, like 20 years now, Joel. So we've been probably since the 90s, early 90s. So I think it came out, what, it was like in early 80s when Walmart started in the southern states.
Right. Right.
So 7, 8 years later, I think they were already starting to come into Canada. So well established over here. There's no growth. I don't know anywhere about putting stores. I think Walmart's everywhere in the world now, isn't it? Is there any countries Walmart isn't in?
I don't know. I mean, if they're in Canada, that's probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Maybe
there's any
Antarctica or
I don't know if
something.
there's any WalMarts in China. I have no idea. I don't know. But are you gonna try and play this thing at all today, or are you gonna let the dust settle here after
I'm going to let
earning?
the dust settle here. We saw what happened with Waste Management, not comparing Walmart to Waste Management whatsoever, but it had the 2 day sell off. Came right back down to kind of support, took it up by like 20 cents yesterday. The 72 number is the number that jumps out like a sore thumb to me. I think in the low 72s, he got great support. a little bit early, maybe at 73.57, but I don't know if they're going to smack it all the way down. I just wonder over the course if the market starts to show some weakness, if they'll get a shot to pick it up at 72. Because these long-term support levels, if you're looking, at the IBMs like we were saying and the Procter and Gambles, usually when they come 90% of the way, they'll actually come all the way down to test those long-term supports. And here we are, we've cascaded down from over $80. 72 was where we bottomed out, or 71.50 back in October a couple times. Early February, we bottomed at 72. I just wonder if they're going to come back and retest that 72 area. So I'm sitting on my hands on this one, waiting for maybe another dollar lower to get down and dirty in Walmart. Safeway still in play. SWY. They announced earnings 53 cents versus 48 cents, 11.31 billion versus 11.48 billion. So missing on the top line, lowering guidance as well. So that's not good news. But they came out and they are still in play here. Lots of headlines
Wow.
coming out on the conference call. And the stock is popping up here on a potential sale. It's up at 36.01 now. Went out at 34.61.
Wow, what a stealth rally here. Just hit a high in the pre-market, 36.27. And then, Dennis, you must be licking your chops up here. Recent high of the move. Well, a little bit higher. You did have an exact high on October 29th at 36.27, but then you had the high of the move at 36.90. So starting to come into some resistance. It hit that 36 and a quarter, 36.27 level a couple times. So if it does get through there, obviously with a deal on the table, anything can happen. The next level of that is 36.90.
Also, your disaster stock of the day, ONTX. It's down 40%. It was down worse. It was down almost 50% there last night. Phase 3 trial, rigosertib, did not meet primary endpoint. That's all you need to know. When you see did not meet primary endpoint, it equals destruction on these little small pharmaceutical companies. And ONTX, after getting absolutely brutally murdered in October when it cascaded from over $30
Whew.
down to the teens, here it is now in the single digits. And last night, where'd it get down to, Joel?
This thing got all the way down under $8, under $7. It got down to 6.90.
Wow. So we've come back a long ways here from the 690 level up at 825. But I mean, if you were long this thing yesterday when it closed at 1386, you're still not too happy here. I think if this thing continues to rally, it's probably going to be the $10 level. You got to think is major, major resistance. But this has kind of settled down here too, though.
A
Show the
lot.
pre-market chart
Yeah,
because
it
we've
should.
kind of calmed down. Like we've only traded 46,000 shares. We traded a lot of stock last night though, and it's kind of found its home here in the 8 handle.
Yeah, I kind of like setups like this. Spike low, 6.90. Then you got the quick rebound up to almost $9, 8.92. And now you've come back here, and someone is obviously making a stand here at the $8 level, saying, "Hey, I'm bringing my short in. This stock was over $30 in October. I'm down here at 8. I'm down here at multi. Well, this is a pretty new issue. You had the low." Blew away the low from December at 11:31 here. So uncharted waters here. Obviously, the trial didn't go well. I think even if you do, I wouldn't be buying under 8 to go long, but hey, if I was short this thing coming in, this kind of windfall, I'd certainly be buying down at 8, all the way through the 7 handle as well. I don't think we'll see that 690 number today.
Looking over here, we did go over BlackBerry. We didn't talk about it on the whole Facebook WhatsApp deal. BlackBerry actually did get a big pop off of that, probably because that BBM messenger there is a popular service. It's one of the best things that they've got going still. And I think they're saying, oh, well, if WhatsApp is worth 16 or 19 billion dollars,
Hmm.
BlackBerry might be worth more than $5 billion, and BBRY is popping up here this morning. It's up 46 cents right now at 9.47. Went out at $9. That $9 level, absolutely enormous. But concerning trend overall here, I'm looking at the trend from the last month, and it's the lower trend that we're just kind of going down, down, down. Now we're trading right up to that upper end of the trend again.
Mm-hmm.
So opening up into a little bit of resistance here. What's the pre-market chart look like on BBRY?
They took it over 980 here. They took it to 9. Took it to 974 there on the initial pop. So they have settled back since then. Don't think we'll see that level today. Looking on the daily charts, you did have a high on Tuesday at 965, then another high at 970. So I think you're right. I mean, been trending between 9 and 10 here since February 3rd. I think as you approach that $10 level, you see some good resistance.
We got imbalances going to come out here
Okay.
in a few minutes. I will go to those in just a second. But just before we go to those, Crocs just reported earnings here around 8 o'clock this morning, and it's just trading down. There hasn't been a lot of trades. Actually, only 200 shares have traded on Crocs. I'll go grab you those numbers. Just going into the pro right now. Looks like they lost 20
Wow.
cents. We're supposed to lose 22 cents. Guiding sales a bit lower, 305 to 315 million versus 322 million. So a little bit lower on the guidance. It's knocking Crocs down just slightly here in the pre-market. CROX trading 14.85, bit of 14.90 though. Best offers up at 16.22. There's just no market on this thing yet.
Yeah, look at the. Well, first of all, they've taken it down here, and people have made what a couple plays on this. Didn't the initial pop was it a Blackstone or some private equity group going into this, juiced it up, and then I think someone else hopped in on the bandwagon, got over the 1650 level. Now it's just, I mean, it's still Crocs, man. It's still shoes with holes in them for 12-year-old kids, and it's coming back down. Just made a pre-market low at 14. What was our pre-market low here? 1480, just holding up at 1485. I guess you have to look at all those lows around the
Yeah.
1450 level, 1460. Once again, I'd be buying it to cover a short, would not be looking to go long Crocs in this area.
It was Blackstone. They agreed to purchase 200 million worth of convertible preferred stock. Actually, Crocs also raised their share buyback too back on the 20 or back on the 30th, which is why you see the
Yep.
big pop there that day. Also, after that, I'm just looking at the pro. You had a couple upgrades in
Yeah,
there.
and then someone else, what about
Yeah, I'm trying to SAC Capital, 13G, 5% stake. So SAC Capital actually raised their stake in Crocs. That was back on the 31st too. That's why I had those couple of days where we really popped up there, came back down to reality, and really found a nice home here in the lower 14s and started to base. Obviously, earnings here today, when the real volume comes in, it's critical that this thing stays with that whole 14 and a half area because that's really there's a lot of air below there.
Yeah, and I guess if you're a big SAC Capital fan and Blackstone fan here, I guess this is an opportunity for you to get in on this company as well. To me, I don't know, dead money, dead money.
Hey,
Looking at,
gentlemen,
yep.
real quick, we got some action in the S&P 500 futures. Just had some data out. We had initial jobless claims and also CPI. CPI coming in right in line. CPI month over month for January was 0.1%. Core CPI up 0.1%. And then the year-over-year figures up 1.6%. Core also up 1.6%. And then the jobless claims, we had 336,000. Analysts were looking for around 335,000. So a couple of data points. We got some action in the S&P 500 futures, but inline reports basically.
Well, futures kind of non-responsive to that. We were trading down. We're still down 5 points here. Just
Yeah.
kind of hanging out about 2 points above the lows here. What are you looking at on the futures, Joel?
I still just looking at this pre-market low 18.17 and a quarter that coincides with the 3-day low at 18.16. So that's still good support here until we take that out. Still got to be leaning toward the upside, maybe get a bounce up. I think that 18.29 and a quarter high, that pre-market high, I think that's safe. For now, we're still 8 points away from there.
Looking at the early imbalances, it just broke at 8:30 here. Again, every single day, GE has a buy imbalance. We're down 3.5 points. We just popped up a little bit. But GE, 72,000 shares to buy. That's not a ton. Also, though, GE went ex-dividend today for 22 cents. Adjusted close, so went out at 25.40. Adjusted close is 25.18. It's trading flat right now there. But every single day, the stock has a buy imbalance.
Yeah, well, it had a nice run, pre dividend run here, and now people will be trying to get out of the mark. Finally hit resistance at the $26 level. Really not seeing. Well, the mark should be important there. 25.18 as the people did buy it with the dividend, or will be trying
I'm
to
one
get
of
out.
them.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll be trying to get out at 25. Right now, it's at that level too. Looking at the support for GE, you had a 25.11 low on February 13th.
You guys got to go out and buy drug stocks because me and Joel here are dying here. We're trying to do the show. Joel keeps going all alien on us there.
Oh, I
I'm
know.
all
I just got
stuffed
a
up.
frog in my throat. I don't
It's
know.
your fault, Joel. I swear, this is
Oh.
your fault. You were breathing into the mic too hard the other day, and I caught it right through the mic. I hope our other listeners didn't catch your cold too, because this is a killer, man. I was up almost all night just fighting this and sneezing, trying to take some Tylenol or the cold and flu stuff, but that doesn't seem to be working that well. I
Hey,
don't know which drugs are good to take here, because maybe we should buy those drug companies. What do you take for this, Joel, when you've got this cold?
Well, I actually had a little bit more than a cold. I had like a little touch of the flu. So I just went, Lisa zapped me with the Tamiflu, and that kind of knocked it out of me. But I just go with the Advil to bring the temperature down. I don't go with a lot of that fancy stuff.
Let's take a quick break. We'll go get Fari here, who is waiting, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Welcome back, traders, investors. It's Thursday morning at 8:35, and it's time for Fari time. Fari, how you doing today?
Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, Joel. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Yes, sir. Thanks.
We're
Okay.
excited for our cup of Fari here this morning because both Joel and I have a cold right now. We're fighting it. We're fighting it. We need some energy, and you always bring energy to the show, Fari. So bring us some energy.
Well, how about Tesla? Talk about energy.
Okay.
I send a little tweak out saying, guys, we're looking for a lot on Tesla. I guess it's trading, 217 right now?
Correct.
Pre-market? Yeah, 216, 217. Yeah, we saw it, 225. Well, I went to my Sigma channels. Oh, this was about, what was it? I think I sent a copy to Kyle, just to keep everybody honest, over at Benzinga. And the timestamp was, let's see, we went out there at, where's my timestamp? Hold on. It was about 1:30 Chicago time, and I saw a 227 area, which is I believe 3 sigma on weekly. And I said, if these guys deliver, that's most likely where it's going to go, 227. And I looked around, and what happened was I saw a spread I liked. It was a 220 to 230. Not this week, but next week. This week was really expensive. They had this baby juiced up. Their vols were 185. Now, which of you is option trader? Is it Dennis or Joel?
We both trade them. So what?
You both trade, okay.
So that was a $10 spread. So what did you have to pay for it?
A dollar. Let's see. We paid
Ooh.
$1.70, I think. Yeah, no, $1.80. $1.80. We
Really?
paid $1.80. We didn't buy a lot because it was a little bit juiced up. The vols for this one were like 102, 105. The front week, this is the one expiring tomorrow, 185. The full month, the full February month. And I just said, you know what, that's a little bit too rich for my blood,
I think
I
that
just
sounds
went to
cheap,
school
though.
in New Jersey, I got to watch what I'm spending. If I was going to Harvard, that'll be a different ballgame.
What exit did you live off?
Pardon me?
What exit did you live off in New Jersey? You never heard
Oh,
that?
number eight.
Okay,
Which exit? Which exit?
Yes,
Number eight, of course.
my sister lives off 7. But anyways, to me, $1.80 for that spread, that 220, 230. I mean, with the risk reward there, that seems. I mean, that seems like you got a good price on that. I'm surprised it was that cheap because you can make you can make 820 and you can lose $1.80. I mean, I think that was a heck of a call there.
That's nice. Yeah. Well, look, my rule, again, comes from the Admiral, the fellow 27 years on the floor of SIBO and vice chair of the membership committee. These people voted for it. This is back then they had seats. Admiral is always the one who's given me the practical side of trading because I came from California, a lot of, some trading, but a lot of academic and no compared to what you do if you're in Chicago. This is a derivative capital of the world. This is what's happening on futures and options. And so coming in here, of course I got here in 2008. Talk about learning. Holy macro.
Oh, what a time.
And we spent a lot of time actually trading at night because that was where the action was. Well, yes, a lot of times I would get lessons and I would take notes or record it. On the spreads, you don't want to pay over a third.
Right,
The
okay.
lower the better, but
Good.
the third of the spread. You pay more than that, the odds are against you. You're just creating a structure for yourself to fail. What do you want to do that for, So I have a limit. I'm very strict on that. And because we have other traders, they cannot go beyond what my email says. They're not, they don't have discretionary power. They have to execute what I'm telling them. I have the discretionary power. So I put the limit down and I fight for it. I said, look, this is all you're going to pay. If you can't pay, you don't execute.
So what now are you? All right, so you got another week in it, right? So for it
Yes,
to
correct.
go to the $10.
And this baby, this is like a freight train. Once it gets to a new level, boom, 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 the next thing you know, 220, 230, here we go. Boom.
So
We'll
you
see where it
tempted to
goes.
take any
Anything
off?
above 220, I'm extremely happy. Remember, we bought this at 194, 195. That's what we got in. And the stock was down like 8 points.
Yeah, it did.
Nobody wanted it. It was like an orphan. That's when you buy. You buy when nobody wants it. Remember,
looking at like
what was it? The Getty, John Paul Getty. You buy when there's blood on the street.
that doesn't apply to all. You're looking though like at the overall trend in Tesla though, that being higher, and then you're buying like the pullback in it because you don't want to like
Bravo.
go and picking bottoms on stuff that's just been trashed for years, right?
Well, I'll give you a lesson for you. I got a cousin. He bought a bunch of Fannie Mae. Okay?
Oh boy.
And the stock dropped. He bought more. Yeah, they're getting
boy.
discounts. He bought more, yeah. Next thing I know, I hear from the wife. Why is he doing this? I said, it's your husband, not mine. Where's your cousin? I said, hold on, I don't want to get involved in this. What am I, an analyst? Give me a break. I'm not a psychoanalyst between you guys. Go to a marriage counseling. Anyhow, he's sleeping in the couch in the garage now for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So what else?
You keep on buying Fannie Mae. Hello, it's like the U.S. government. You're holding the bag. What do you want to do that for?
So we're kind of coming out of earnings season here, and we had the Facebook takeover, and I know that a lot of your strategies are predicated on your field towards earnings here. We're coming out of earnings season.
Why, I want market timing. Wait a second, market timing also. Look what I did last night. You guys follow me on Twitter.
Right.
Short SPX. What we talked about on the Hunter Killer Sub, where we post our charts last for Saturday. Or Sunday it was, Sunday. Or it was Saturday, I forgot. We talked about, hey, we got to get to 50 bar, right? Be prepared to go flat there when we pass through that. Like hot knife through butter, right? What was a 50 bar? 50 bar was, what, 1810 or ish type of a deal? 1803, 1804. Went through that. We got to, this is a cash basis, right? Where were we at on Tuesday? We hit 1842. We closed at 1840 even, so it was a very short range day, right? Doji, nothing going on. What happened yesterday? Decent pullback. What happened last night? We had a 12-handle drop, and yours truly was short after the close. Right about the close. I had some short on that I couldn't get out. And I was stupid enough to add to it. And it runs up. So I said Seinfeld time. So I went to the other room, put the TV on. TiVo, watching some Seinfeld, and I put it on my handheld. Yeah, I put the hand up on my decision support software. By the way, it's kind of platform independent. I have every platform that you can think of, all the major ones, because no one of them are really good for everything. That's one thing you learn over a while. Any given platform, he's got his own limitations. So I put the decision support on my handheld. I left my execution on, because if something goes on, you need to be able to get in. No time to log in. Anyhow, about 10 of 8, Chicago time, bum, 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 bum. It's like missile alert, we have a launch confirmation. I said, something is going on here. Rush back. I live in a loft. So I had to run to the other side, see where's all these alerts coming up. Get to my trading desk, and sure enough, we're down 12 handles.
From the high, yeah.
Dennis, do you know what we call this? This is called Christmas is here early. We're down 12 S&P handles. Of course, while you're in it, you don't know where it's going. It's just going. So I made a comment on Twitter. I said, ES is melting. One of my buddies, Winthrop, came in and said, not yet. There's only 12 handles. I said, listen, while you're in it, it's you see what you see, okay? Once you step back, look at a chart, everybody's best quarterback Monday morning. Please. But it's melting down, and it's a gift. What do you do when they give you a gift?
Take it.
You open it. It's Christmas time. Hello? So I said, go flat. They gave me 12 handles.
Yeah.
Extremely happy. Yeah. Then I was stupid enough to get in again. It's called greed. Now, another greed comes in. Before that was total fear. Like, what is this thing doing? Why do I add? And it goes up. I don't like a market that doesn't listen to me, okay? Where I come from, I issue the orders, okay? I want to get the results. It's not working, I'm upset. And so prior to that was total fear. We started Seinfeld with total fear. About half an hour later, it's all joy. And yes, the carols are to speak. We're playing carols in the back, and eggnog is coming, and it's Christmas time. Hello. So we covered. I put some more on. Hello. So then it again rallies up a little bit more. I said, I've had it. I knock it. But double up, or double down, if you will, on the top. And an hour later, slowly eases down to 17s I cover.
Right.
That was like 10 o'clock. I said, you know what? Enough is enough. Yeah. Go get some rest. Tomorrow's another day, another battle.
Yeah, what do you think? What are you looking for today? We did have that dip down to 18.7.
Down. I expect down. I expect us to go and test at least 1801. Where do I come up with that? It's Sigma. It's the floor levels. You gotta watch for the floor levels, or the guys who were used to be on the floor now behind the computers, running it automated. And I see 1801.50. If you look at what we call the sausage charts, which is the market profile stuff, going back and forth a lot, that's the number that's been coming up. I think our first stop here is around 1801.5. If we fail there, I think anything is open below that.
Okay, so you kind of turned.
But no more than. I don't think we're going to go and see 2 weeks ago's low, which is 1732 area. I don't think on a March basis. I don't think we're going to go there yet.
Well, not today.
Still licking their chops a little bit here too. You got to think further. Like they've come, and it's just hard to get away from that mentality. We've been in that mentality for the last 2.5, 3. Really, you could go and argue all the way back. It's been the buy the dip since the financial crisis, but really running the last couple of years. Every time you've come in and bought the dip, you've been rewarded here, and it's hard to really break that mentality. So I agree with you. I think you could get a little bit, further damage here in the short term, but I'm not getting all bearish here. Like I know that 1840 level though. Holy cow, man! That is one of the biggest levels. Have you seen a level that big? Not in a long time, Fari?
No, I haven't. No.
Are you?
Well, remember, you don't have to be. No, I'm never a fool. I'm not a perma bear or perma bull ever. That's not the way you trade. You really need to look at the charts. I just think right now we have a pullback coming, and my charts are telling me that. I told you guys where it's going to come. What price and what level, and it starts arching, okay? And starts arching, and you get its first and second derivative. Hello? Remember, this is all physics. It's all physics. And it starts arching, you can see it in front of you. Now, the issue is, do you trigger off of that or not? And With all the events yesterday, yeah, I'm taking it. Maybe it's good for 50 points on S&Ps. Look, I'm in a Timer of the Year contest. Last October, I almost had it locked up. And then I lost it on one trade. So it's crucial to take every point in you can with Timer Digest. I've been trading me for, I don't know, 10 years now, 11 years now, or something. Well, maybe like 12 years now. It's a little outfit out of Connecticut. No bias. They rate about 150 timers nationally. And I'm proud to be rated by them. And so I just took a little short. We'll see where it goes. And you know what? If it turns around to go up, I'll reverse. Not a problem. You can't have emotions. Look, don't trade what you think.
Yeah.
Trade what you see. I threw all my books out of the window the other day.
What about Google here? You made a new all-time high up at the 1212 area, pulling back. And I mean, you really don't have a driver now. We're out of earnings season. They kind of had really not the greatest earnings. They still rallied off it. Crosses another level.
They disappointed on earnings. I had a 1250 calls there. And I was toast there for sure. Some of it kind of came back like I was toast because it didn't come back fast enough. Remember, in options, it's a logarithmic time on price. None of them were happening. Now they're beginning to go there. And you know what? This company is an outstanding company. They're in everything. I understand that. Look, they're extending their fiber to 9, or is it 9 or 20? I read. I don't know. To 9 major metropolitan area, trying to even possibly compete with somebody like Comcast.
Wow.
These guys have a lot of smarts in them. Obviously, they have very, very, very deep pockets. Their market cap, I believe, is second or third in the S&P, okay, from a market cap standpoint. That's not easy to have and maintain, okay? Let's see. They're the third right now. They have Apple, Exxon, Google. They're ahead of Microsoft in market cap. So more power to them. I think you're going to see 1,500 on Google not too long from now.
Wow.
1,500, yeah.
So you're saying
Oh,
eventually?
it's Google.
Eventually, I think last time on the show we were saying too. You think eventually Google passes Apple in market cap?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Apple is a fad. Apple
Apple's
always been a fad.
Let's go into Apple here then, because let's get your technical thoughts here.
Don't get me wrong. I do have an iPod. I do have one iPod. And I installed iTunes, messed up my Windows. Do not. This is you can research. Do not install iTunes on your main machine. This is the lesson of the day. I have to reformat my hard drive. There is a DLL that shows is missing. It actually isn't, but locks your Outlook, so you can get no emails. Do not touch iTunes updates. It's all over the internet. Be careful. Now, I love the stock. I've traded a lot of his options. I'd say probably I've made 50% of the time, 60, 70% of the time on that. I've not always made money on Apple. I only have iPod. That's the only thing I own. I don't own anything else that's Apple-based. But there's all these possibilities there in their options. You just have to look. You have to dig in. I don't think I've ever owned Apple stock.
Do you?
No. I've always owned Apple options.
What do you listen to on your iTunes? What kind of music you like?
Pink Floyd. I mean, come on. Let's have Pink Floyd. These are the guys who wrote
down after being wound up all day. So Fari's got to listen to that Pink Floyd.
Yeah. I mean, I have a little one. This is the little one that I think that I don't know what they called. iNet or no, I don't know. It's a little one. It's a little one with a screen and video on it. I put it on my arm, jump on the rowing machine at the gym, and I go to, after 40 minutes of rowing, you're in your own world. You're euphoric, endorphins are coming. You see the charts in your head. Music is awesome, them, and you come in next day and you're gonna own the market.
Okay, we got some issues coming out of the.
Stop, Joel. I gotta you row. You do your exercising to Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I rowed at Princeton. I was on the rowing team. Yeah. That clears your system very fast, my friend. Actually, I compete with a rowing. I'm a member of a Union League Club of Chicago. It's the oldest club in Chicago. It's very nice. And we have a rowing coach. I usually row with him, against him.
What's your favorite Pink Floyd song?
I'd say probably Us and Them. Wishing You Were Here.
Oh, okay.
I play that for my better half. She likes that. So.
Okay.
And then, but my all-time favorite band, of course, has got to be Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven.
Okay.
Remember, these are the guys who actually wrote the books. Okay, the books that were really written are these guys.
Right. All right.
guys wrote it.
We got some
Yeah,
issues coming out of the chat room. We just want to get your take before we let you get back to your morning routine.
Sure.
Garmin yesterday, GRMN blew away earnings.
Are they still in business?
That's what I said.
After the maps by Google, I mean Garmin, I stopped watching them. Look, they've been dead money since January 10.
Okay,
They were a good short into the financial crisis.
So what would you advise
Boy.
someone to? I mean, they had the gap and go yesterday. What kind of Sigma
this is
rating?
you got a little blip there. All of a sudden, it's up. I see it on the weekly. I see it on the daily. Let me bring the daily up here 1 second. Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure I'm right. Yeah, I see it on the daily. It just gives a little gap up. It's at 4 to 5 sigma. They got to sell this baby heavy. It has to. It's way too high up. And was that earnings?
Yeah. The earnings were a little bit better.
Well, the market makers are going to squeeze this baby this morning. Has to, because it went to 4 sigma. Remember, standard deviations are key. As human beings, we react that way. It's like Fibonacci numbers. This happens in nature. Same thing with standard deviations. Pay attention to those. And right now we're running at 5, I believe, standard dev. This baby is just, it's going to be squeezed down into, let's see, 40, do 50.
Okay.
It'll be sold down into 50. Then becomes a normal price. Okay? But I would stop following it. After a map showed up on Androids, who cares about anybody else in mapping?
I agree. I mean, they are coming out with some other products, but we kind of had the same feeling on that. And then the other one is a little tougher to call. I mean, there was a big merger in the pharmaceutical industry. Forest Labs getting taken over at a very high premium. I mean, I don't know how you, how you play something like that. I don't know if you're interested in owning the Irish company. How do you? Would you just take your chips off the table on this Forest Labs here on this big gap up?
Give me the symbol.
FRX.
But they just got taken
Oh,
over
yeah.
by
FR.
CT. Yeah.
FRX. Yeah, FRX. Okay. Okay, listen. This is a takeover. They're taking it over.
ACT. Yeah.
ACT's
Activists,
taking
ACT.
over.
Yeah, it's done. You're done. You go. You pass.
Yeah.
It's done. If you didn't own it before, what are you going to do now? Listen, the juice was between going in. It's like yesterday. The juice was being short after the close, and when the news came. Okay? Once the news comes, we are repriced. Remember, that's what news does. You reprice the asset. What are you going to do? You can't change it anymore. We live off of the change, right?
Okay.
As I said on Twitter last night, I create nothing. I just live off the volatility. I need volatility and some volume. Okay, but main thing is volatility. This already is repriced to 93 to 94 area. Let it be. Go to the next one. I mean, I don't see how you're going to make the juice. I'm not interested to make a few pennies. I want that chunk in between, 70% of it. Hey, Chicago is expensive.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, soup is not cheap in Chicago. Let me put it this way.
Okay. All right, Fari, do you have any closing comments for our traders today? We've covered the gambit here. S&Ps are just kind of creeping up here, 1823 and a quarter. Probably find some resistance at the settlement here in the pre-market high. You have any closing thoughts for our traders today?
Well, watch about 26, 27 area. I think probably you may see what's called going back to the scene of the crime, which is 1830 area.
Okay.
We may meander in there, but I think the smart money, if you look at some surveys, the smart money is waiting for any reason to short this market and squeeze it down a little bit. So I would be careful to the upside. Wouldn't bet a lot. But you're absolutely right. We've had this Bernanke put, and now we have Yellen put. It seems like if you go short, the whole world will come against you. Just be careful out there. Earnings season is out. We have very few names. I think Priceline is coming, but I usually don't trade Priceline. I don't understand their business model that well. I don't trade things I don't know. But so more of the game between now and let's say first week of April is going to be market timing, some key names. I want to see chart pattern. I want to see a reason and a catalyst. I want to see a chart pattern. I want to see some maybe OI data, open interest, to kind of see where the pain is, where the people are looking at different pain scenarios. So make sure you have some logic for the trade you're looking at. Don't go in there and say, Fari said that, or XYZ said that, or Comedy Central said that, and I'm going to do this. No.
Okay.
Come up with a logic, come up with a reason, come up for in there, and don't bet the farm. I try to trade no more than 1% to 3% of the account.
Right.
Okay? Max.
Keep some powder
1
dry.
to 3% max. I'm comfortable with probably 2, and this way I have 50 chances of being wrong before getting blown out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So.
Okay, Fari. Well, thanks for staying on with us this morning. Have a good trading day. We'll keep an eye on your predictions here in the market, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks again, Fari.
Thanks for your time, guys. See you.
Thanks, Fari. Talk about popping up to the scene of the crime there, Joel. We just did it. We just did it on those PMI numbers. Brent, you got those numbers that just broke here?
Yeah, it was 56.7. Estimate was for, where'd it go?
53, I think.
53.6. Yeah, so we should be popping on that. It was for
We are
February.
popping up. Yeah, we just got back 6-7 points there, right as far as we're coming up to the scene of the crime where we started breaking down from 1830 here. Joel, what are the technicals saying here now?
Still the pre-market high. We haven't taken that out. 1829.50. The swing number here is 1831 for the day. So if I like the risk reward here. Shorten up against the pre-market high and perhaps stop above that 1831. That's your swing level for the day. So pretty good action here in the pre-market. Dennis, what are you seeing? Seen anything juicy in the imbalances today?
Yeah, I'll just give you a quick update here. The same story I'm telling you every single day. GE has a buy imbalance. It does again. 92,000 shares, like we were saying before. SX dividend today. It's trading up 12 cents right now on that buy imbalance. And every single day, Merck has a sell imbalance. I took Merck home short. I took GE home long, just because it seems like every day that's how it plays out. So I'm going to keep playing that till it doesn't work anymore. Eventually, it's not going to work anymore. But Merck has a 36,000 share sell imbalance. It's opened down near the lows. I don't know if it opened at the low yesterday because we obviously sold off later in the day. But it has been working to buy the open on Merck and sell it quickly after. IBM has been the same story. IBM again yesterday just briefly opened up near the lows, popped about 60, 70 cents, and then sold off with the overall market. But IBM is a little sell imbalance here today for 11,000 shares. I'm seeing a big sell imbalance in Pfizer. PFE, 291,000 shares to sell. Stock is trading flat right now here in the 31.48. It was trading down a little bit earlier with the overall markets. But like I said, this is very early for these imbalances. Sometimes these get offset. For instance, if another institution might be wanting to buy it, they might come in and say, "Oh, buy the 300,000," and they can get offset. So these imbalances obviously continue to update until we do open at 9:30. But right now, just looking, Pfizer would open weaker, Bank of America would open weaker, actually Wells Fargo would open weaker, and GE would open stronger. That's the highlights.
Okay, Pfizer opened it into some support here, though, Dennis. 31.44 was the low from yesterday's session. Then you go back 4 more sessions, 31.40, 6 sessions, 31.43, another low at 31 double here. So it does have the sell imbalance though, but it is opening up into support.
Dennis, what's kind of the takeaway from that? Like, why you keep seeing GE with this trend?
You know what happens sometimes? Just you have an institution, a big institution that's slowly buying stock. Maybe they want to buy a couple million shares and they're going to buy a couple 100,000 every morning for 10 days in a row. Sometimes that happens, So it's probably, when you see the same thing happening every day for 4 or 5 days in a row, makes me think it's the same institution that's just saying, look, I'm going to buy some on the open, just a little bit every open. And what that does is sometimes allows the stock to open a little bit too high. And, me being a short-term scalper, I'm always looking for a little inefficiencies. If the market's trade down and GE opens higher, sometimes there's a trade there. Now, it doesn't always work that way. As we all live as traders, we live in the probabilities, not the absolutes. But there's a higher probability that might give a little bit back. Merck, the same story. But I've been playing it a little bit different way. I took GE home for two reasons. I actually took it home because I had the dividend. Second, it's been having a buy-in balance every day. So I was like, well, I've got the ex-dividend that I'm going to capture 22 cents here. And if that buyer's there again tomorrow, which would have been today, I'll be able to sneak out of my longs. And I actually have almost snuck out of all of my shares now. I've been sneaking out in the 30s here this morning. You just keep playing until it doesn't work. And these pre-market imbalances can sometimes be really good tells for where the stocks are going to open.
And a lot of plays off the open, Dennis. The open and the close, right? Two big prints, the biggest prints of the day, and can get a lot of trading opportunities. Obviously, you're taking things off the close. You're going to have to sit on them overnight, so you do incur some market risk there. But all right, Dennis, we're going to let you go get ready for the open there. We're going to move over to Mighty Joe Young with the morning headlines.
Well, good morning there, Joel. Thank you for that warm introduction.
Oh, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, medal update from Sochi. Norway has now grabbed the most gold medals with the amount of 10, followed by Germany's 8 gold medals. But the United States has now moved to the top overall medal lead with 23. Russia and the Netherlands are tied at second with 22 total medals. Some early trivia on this day in 1998, 15-year-old Tara Lipinski wins the gold medal in women's figure skating at the Olympic Winter Games in Nagano, Japan, and becomes the youngest gold medalist in her sport. The sole winning ticket in a $425 million U.S. Powerball lottery was sold at a gas station in Southfield, Michigan to Joe Young. And I quit. No, just kidding. It was in Milpitas, California. Lottery officials said on Wednesday. The winning numbers were 1, 17, 35, 49, 54, and 34, according to Powerball's website. The Dixon Landing Chevron gas station will receive $1 million for selling the ticket. The prize is the 6th largest in U.S. history and the 4th largest for Powerball, according to a spokesperson for the Multi-State Lottery Association, which runs the game. And CNBC said this morning that the ticket has not yet been claimed. So if you're in California, you might be a winner. The relationship between Facebook and WhatsApp started in spring 2012 over coffee at a German bakery. It was consummated on Valentine's Day with chocolate-covered strawberries. After just 5 days of talks, Bloomberg reported. Mark Zuckerberg first reached out to WhatsApp CEO Jan, or is it Jan? Jan Koum in early 2012, inviting him for coffee at the bakery in Los Altos, California. They ended up talking for more than 2 hours, according to a person with knowledge of the matter. The two became friends, meeting frequently for dinners and hiking together. On February 9th, Koum went to Zuckerberg's house in Palo Alto, California for dinner. That's when the conversation about a possible deal became serious, the person said. The two first talked about how they could work together more closely on Zuckerberg's Internet.org initiative for connecting the world on mobile devices. Zuckerberg then proposed that their companies join together and that Koum join Facebook's board. Koum took a few days to think it over, and 5 days later, on February 14th, Zuckerberg was having dinner with his wife at home when Koum showed up, strawberries in hand. Then they negotiated a small fee for the merger of $16 billion. Small. Behind a real estate strategy focused on providing the broadest selection of products and convenient access through a digitally connected multi-format portfolio, Walmart announced it is significantly accelerating its capital plan for U.S. small store format openings for the current fiscal year. The company is expanding its original capital forecast provided last October and now expects to add approximately 270 to 300 small stores during the fiscal year, doubling the initial forecast of 120 to 150 stores. Walmart U.S. will continue its plan to open approximately 115 new supercenters this year. The Gap says it will raise the minimum hourly wage for its U.S. employees to $10 an hour in 2015. The San Francisco company said Wednesday that the minimum wage for workers at all of its brands will be raised to $9 an hour in 2014 and $10 an hour in 2015. Gap said the increases will affect about 65,000 store employees. Gap stores include Gap, Banana Republic, and Old Navy. President Barack Obama applauded the move by Gap, noting that in his State of the Union address last month, he had asked businesses to do what they can to raise wages. Obama has also signed an executive order raising the minimum wage for workers covered by new federal contracts to $10.10 an hour. But Obama said only Congress can raise, what was that? Ah, right. So is nationwide urging the House and Senate to take up a bill that Democrats are pushing.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
see this gap chart here? Very interesting technical.
I'm sure that everyone else would find it interesting too, Joel, if you weren't muted.
Okay, Joe, you see this gap chart here?
No.
Very interesting here. Winding itself into the tizzy play here. We have, for the last four trading sessions, have traded between 41.88 and 42.61 here, building major resistance as well as major support here. So, saying eventually here is going to rally above this 42.61 here and go into perhaps up to the $43 level. If that 42 goes by the wayside, you could be trading down at 41.31. But wicked consolidation in gap stores.
Thank you, Joel. Much appreciated for the chart analysis there. Moving on, Tesla Motors said that it expects sales of its vehicles to increase sharply in 2014. The Palo Alto, California company said Wednesday that it expects to deliver more than 35,000 of its Model S sedans in 2014, up 55% from last year. That compares with a forecast from an industry analyst at Barclays that the company would produce 29,800 units in 2014. Tesla investors focus heavily on the car maker's forecast as demand has outstripped its supply in the past. The company said battery cell supply will continue to constrain its production, but expects that should improve in the second half of the year. Dish Network will no longer offer WWE's pay-per-views, including April's WrestleMania 30. The move comes as WWE is about to launch a digital network on February 24th, which will include all of its 12 pay-per-views and a slate of original series beginning after Sunday's Elimination Chamber. The company is charging $9.99 a month for subscriptions to the service. Dish said it was upset that the network was being launched without WWE's TV partners. As WWE enters the increasingly fragmented media world by themselves, Dish will continue to consider the value of WWE pay-per-view on an event-by-event basis, it said. On its Facebook page, Dish also posted, Dish will not offer the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view on February 23rd. WWE is not willing to adjust their pay-per-view costs to satellite and cable companies, which is unfair to their customers. We need to refocus our efforts to support partners that better serve Dish customers. Other satellite and cable companies, including DirecTV, have also expressed they no longer provide WWE pay-per-view events in the future. 7 former employees have filed a lawsuit against the Harris School of Business, a chain of for-profit institutions with campuses in several states, and its parent company, the Premier Education Group, according to the New York Times. The lawsuit accuses the schools and the company of defrauding the federal government through practices like misleading students about their career prospects and falsifying records to keep them enrolled, so the schools could continue receiving the students' federal grants and loans. Lawyers for and executives of the company, which is privately held, denied many of the allegations in the lawsuit and said others, such as enrolling students with phony high school diplomas, reflected only isolated instances. They also questioned the motives of the former employees who sued. The lawsuit was filed under the False Claims Act in 2011 and was unsealed last fall. Whistleblowers who bring suits under that law can collect a portion of any damages awarded. Recode says that for nearly a week now, an anonymous Australian programmer has been broadcasting on Twitch a playthrough of one of the original Pokemon games for the Game Boy. Normally that would be an unremarkable fact, but this game is being played in real time by thousands of people around the world. A Twitch spokesperson said more than 658,000 people have participated in Twitch Plays Pokemon so far, with up to 120,000 concurrent viewers commenters at the game's peak. The stream is supported by a combination of display ads, pre-roll video ads, and paid subscriptions through the Twitch Partner Program, although the company declined to disclose any subscription numbers. Viewers who comment on the live video are remotely telling the game what to do. If so, they say right, the main character moves right. If they say A, the game acts as though someone had pressed the Game Boy's A button.
Wow,
Yes.
that's pretty sweet.
Check this out, Brent. You'll like this next piece. The eclectic trio of Elton John, Kanye West, and Jack White will headline this summer's Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. Organizers announced the lineup for the June 12th to 15th festival Wednesday night. As usual, it offers a bit of something for everyone. Sir Elton will be attending his first Bonnaroo, while West will be making his first return after one of the most memorable appearances in 2008, which we thought would have kept him away. That year, he made fans wait nearly 2 hours for his early morning set, which didn't start until 4:30 a.m. Other performers scheduled to appear in Manchester, Tennessee include Frank Ocean, Lionel Richie, Vampire Weekend, the Avett Brothers, Lauryn Hill, and Skrillex, who will host one of Bonnaroo's Super Jams. Tickets go on sale at noon, February 22nd, on the festival's website.
There's going to be a Lauryn Hill incident this year at the Electric Forest, Joe.
You think
String
so?
cheese incident plus Lauryn Hill. Wow.
Do you think Kanye will do it again this year?
I hope not.
What do you think? You think there's usually not too many issues with Sir Elton. He doesn't pick up his piano bench and throw it off stage anymore. I think he leveled out a little bit now. So hopefully no issues with that. I do get the feeling that he will cancel, though.
We can all hope so.
Whoa. Ouch. Brent, I'm sorry that I devoted that piece of news to you.
Wait, you're not talking about Lionel, right? You're talking about Kanye?
No, I'm talking about Sir Elton John.
Or, sorry, Elton John. No, I don't want Elton
Oh.
to cancel. I want Kanye to
Y-
cancel.
okay, yes, okay.
Joe,
all right.
you going to see Lionel Richie when he comes to town?
You know, I've seen him before, and I was dragging my feet the whole time to the show, and then I got there, and I had an absolute blast. You don't realize how many of his songs you actually know until he's up there singing, and you know all the words. It was a lot of fun.
Kind of like the Billy Joel concert Saturday night. It was.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Okay. Go ahead.
I
Move
saw
on.
I saw Lionel Richie 2 years ago with Jimmy Buffett at Comerica Park, and it was the ultimate. It was the only show they did together on the tour.
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
That's right.
Okay.
The weather is here. Wish you were beautiful, Joel. Some trivia for Fari. Shubs believes Fari will be interested in this. On this date in 1997, Seinfeld's The Pothole airs for the first time. It includes a storyline in which Kramer adopts a stretch of the fictional Arthur Burghardt Expressway. I'm not going to be able to get through it. Through the real-life Adopt a Highway program. His efforts to clean up the 1-mile stretch of roadway he adopted because he was upset about the failing highway infrastructure quickly went awry. First, he repaints the highway, turning it from 4 lanes into 2, which creates
He widens the lanes.
which creates chaos among drivers. He then tries to change it back to 2 lanes, and in the process spills paint thinner on the pavement. Finally, a mail truck driven by Newman generates sparks that ignite with the paint thinner, causing his truck to catch fire. The roots of the Adopt a Highway program date back to 1984, when James Evans, an engineer for the Texas Department of Transportation, noticed litter blowing out of the back of a pickup truck he was driving behind in Tyler, Texas. That wraps it up for today's editorial headlines. My name is Joe Young. Thanks for stopping by, San Diego.
What was the trivia tidbit?
Yeah. What was the trivia question?
It was
There was no question. It was just a tidbit.
Oh.
We did 2 tidbits
Well, I'm
today.
happy with that.
Yeah. So just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the show would not be possible. Oh, I got a package from Amazon. And just so you know, this is The Last Waltz by the band on DVD. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the show would not be possible without our dear friends at Options House. They will give you 150 commission-free trades if you sign up for an account through this page. There's buttons at the top, at the bottom right. Go ahead, make a click, make clickies, open an Options House account, get 150 commission-free trades just for listening to Benzinga's pre-market prep. I'm signing off now. Where is my man Brent? Where is he? Somewhere in outer space.
Are you basing that on the shirt that he's wearing today?
I am. You know,
Okay.
I wish all of y'all in the chat could see this right now, because Brent is a walking science class.
Yep, it's actually the solar system on my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sweet.
That's really far out.
Hey, there he is. Jake's got some competition.
Jake is getting red in the face after that.
Oh my gosh, he is.
He really is. Jake is our
You like that.
resident space analyst on the desk, and I'm pretty sure that he will steal the shirt off of Brent's back by the end of the day.
I think Dennis is still out there waiting for that like eclipse or something that was supposed to be the other night.
Oh, what was it? The meteor
It was an
shower,
asteroid or something.
yeah, the asteroid that he stayed up all night. That's probably why he got sick. He was standing
Yeah,
outside in the
because
cold.
he finally left his house. He went outside and he got exposed, and then now he's sick.
He's laughing right now. I can hear him all the
Yeah,
way across the river.
Yeah, he'll chime in. So, what do we got going on? We're earnings season's kind of
Winding down.
winding
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and so now the analysts, whatever you want to call them, are going to be weighing in. And what do we have?
That definitely does happen. So I mean, you get your earnings comments from the analysts, but when earnings season kind of dies down, I feel like the analysts kind of step it up in other places. And you guys didn't get to talk about some of the ratings this morning because we had a very packed show. So I'm kind of excited to hit you with the top upgrades and downgrades this morning. Some of the upgrades: Morgan Stanley upgrading shares of Neighbors November Bravo Romeo to overweight. Goldman Sachs upgrading shares of Infoblox. Ticker is BLOX.
Did that one get killed?
Yeah, let me pull up my chart real quick. It got killed on Tuesday of last week. It was down a jaw-dropping 50%.
And so Morgan
Goldman kind of sticking their neck out here.
Yeah, what are they?
They upgraded the stock from neutral to buy, so they're saying buy this dip. I mean, shares are up. Let's see, shares are up about 10% since that 50% decline in the one day. So, I mean, they kind of caught a little bit of a bounce, but they're still saying, all right, buy the dip here.
I like the risk-reward ratio here. I mean, you did make a recent low of the move. The low of the move was on the day that the bad news came out, 17.10. You've creeped up a couple bucks here. The highest level you've been at since that disastrous day was 1988. We've got over 20 here in the pre-market. 2018 high. I guess I'd like to see it get back over 20 here and rally because you got a long way to go to fill that gap up there all the way to 32.54.
And that stock was trading over 38 bucks about a month and a half ago, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Thing is just getting
What
killed.
do they do?
Infoblox.
Block information?
Let me see real quick. Just so you know, looks like an IT company. They created an automated network controller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I think Dennis is going to like the next two top upgrades here. We got UBS upgrading shares of Agnico Eagle AEM to buy. Also RBC upgrading shares of Barrick Gold to outperform this morning, getting a little bullish coverage on the gold space this morning from the analyst. Moving to downgrades.
I just want to tell you, I think
yeah.
these guys are way off, man. Why are they upgrading it now? I mean, gold has been up not out of the last. I mean, obviously they're looking at more than just the price of gold here, but these stocks have had a big run here, and now gold. Let's just look at this gold chart here, kind of in its stall formation here, made that high up. I believe it was like 1342 or whatever, and now it's just kind of sitting here. I might want to use this upgrade of this issue to perhaps lighten up on some stock here.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
a fade.
Fade to rally. So I'm looking at, let's see, Barrick shares up about 20% since mid-December. Agnico shares up about 30% since mid-December. And these aren't like new companies at all. I mean, that's a big move.
Yeah, I'm fading this one.
There you go. So moving on to the downgrades, Facebook shares downgraded at a couple of more of the boutique firms, Pivotal Research and Evercore, downgrading shares following that purchase of WhatsApp, the news of the WhatsApp purchase. Didn't see any upgrades this morning on Facebook. Definitely a few analysts out there who were adjusting their price targets, but nothing on the upside here. SunTrust downgrading shares of Forest Labs to neutral following that acquisition last week, I believe it was. Wells Fargo downgrading shares of Garmin this morning. They see the stock at a market perform, and then a couple of the bigger names here, a couple of the biggest names. Deutsche Bank downgrading shares of Tesla, and Barclays downgrading shares of Apple this morning. Deutsche Bank rating Tesla with a hold, and Barclays now rating Apple with an equal weight rating. And let me see, actually a few notable initiations of coverage this morning. Deutsche Bank initiating coverage on a few of the industrial names here. Caterpillar with a buy rating and $122 price target. Cummins with a buy rating and $170 price target. Deere with a buy and $110 target. Joy Global with a hold rating, and also one more at hold, Agco, that is Alpha Golf Charlie Oscar. We got about 5 or 6 minutes before the open. We did get that nice rally from around 1822, almost touching the 1830 level on the S&P 500 futures, following the market PMI reading, which comes out right around 858. We've sold off a little bit since then. 1826.75 last trade I see in the S&P futures.
Did get a pop up right near that pre-market high, 1829.50. Got a little boost from the data here, now falling back. Have to be looking at the close there, 25.50 as your swing number, as minor support. Going to think we're going to have a hard time climbing into that 1830 handle here in today's session. Just taking a look at some other issues of interest here on the radar. We could just talk about that action in Lilly from yesterday. I guess, Dennis, I probably would have lost my wager with him on that, even though I was right for a period of time. Traded up to $58 in the pre-market. Didn't open anywhere near that level, though. Opened up at 57 and change, and then went down, flirted with really going down in the 56 handle, but recovered. Rallied above 58, which was the pre-market high. Made a high at 58.20. 58.09 was the close. Tacked on nearly $3. Huge move for Lilly here. We'll see what happens here once again at the 58.20 level. Trading down a little bit here in the pre-market, but in order for this move to continue off of that good news, I believe it was on the drug front, need to really get back in that 58 handle and take away that 58.20 high. This is the highest that Lilly has traded. Made a run in this area back in April of 2013 at 58.40. And at that time when it made that 50.40 high, that was the highest it's traded since January of 2008. So Lilly getting up into some long-term resistance here. Just wanted to take a look at Facebook here with its acquisition of What's Up.
WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever it is. Coming back towards the close here, we've climbed back 67.76. Keep in mind, 68.06 was the all-time high closing price. 69.06, the all-time high here. So we'll see what happens to this issue in the 68 handle. Keeping in mind, 68.06 was the all-time high.
Joel, there was a couple of, that's good that you just pointed out Facebook, because there was a couple of metrics that we didn't get to mention a little bit earlier when we were talking about this purchase. So some of the per user figures at WhatsApp. It looks like Facebook paid around $42 per user for WhatsApp, and I was doing a little bit of math last night. I found that based on current market cap, Facebook users are currently valued at over $140 per user. So kind of an interesting little stat there. And then digging a little bit more, doing a little bit more research, found out that placing that value at about $20 billion on WhatsApp by Facebook puts WhatsApp among the approaching among the top 200 S&P 500 companies. Can you believe that?
No.
And then the other kind of little interesting tidbit that I seen, WhatsApp took $8 million in funding. That was it.
Really?
So major that aspect at least majorly attractive to Facebook. I'm sure of it.
Well, that was in the early stages, but pretty good risk reward. And I bet you those people that put the $8 million or Rochambeau across the trading floor here. Wanted to take a look here at another issue. Did a little article yesterday. You don't find me getting super bullish too many stocks, especially dogs like this. But Alcoa here has just been making a run here. Did you see that? Ford or GM has followed suit with Ford, and they're going to be producing an aluminum truck by 2018. Also, have the aerospace industry making bigger and wider airplanes. They're going to need more aluminum. Buy Alcoa. Recommendation. The most you can lose is $11.76. Right, Jake?
Well, I guess if you want to fit Americans into all those airplanes, you might as well make them wider, right?
Yeah. Well, they better. Yeah.
Because I mean, Weight Watchers is obviously not making money anymore, so that must mean that nobody's buying the weight loss products.
It's funny when we talked about Weight Watchers. I was trying to find potential plays, and I was thinking about the grocery stores. And whew, look at that, man! People are eating more and dieting less. There's Safeway, while they're rumored to be taken out. And you had Kroger's here. That's also been on a nice run. Don't mind Kroger. But the other stock that I talked about in the sector and got a little information from Lisa on this is that Ariad Pharmaceuticals, if you want to take a flyer on a drug stock that once was a high flyer, has come down to earth quite a bit. But they make a diet suppression pill. And it's being marketed here. They had Aria Pharmaceuticals has.
I think you mean appetite suppression.
What did I say?
Diet
Diet.
suppression. Okay, that
Oh,
makes a
yeah.
lot more sense.
You don't want your
Joe.
diet suppressed.
Yes.
Diet suppression pills, also known
This
as
pill
pizza.
will make you lean more towards
Joe-
Big Macs
Joe, you-
and salads with mayonnaise.
I think Joe just doesn't do anything all morning and waits for me to make a mistake, and then he just hops in on me.
Just
huh?
there, chiming in and gets ready to lob
Fortunately,
them in.
Joel, I don't have to wait very long. Ooh,
Oh, go fool around on your app or whatever. Go update your Facebook.
You know, we're going to
status.
start recording the pre-show just so, I wish everyone could hear how many times it took you to pronounce WhatsApp properly. What's that? WhatsApp.
No, what's that?
What's haps?
What's up? What was that from the Wendy's commercial?
No, it was Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Wendy's was Where's the Beef? You were
Yeah.
probably like in elementary school when they had those commercials. Yeah, that old lady. All right, so what's on the Jake Obscure Stock Radar?
Well, actually, if you were talking about the grocery stores there, Whole Foods is another one you might want to take a look at, especially it's WFM, and that's just one that I wanted to kind of pull up because that's more on the kind of health food side. So if you wanted to talk about, grocery store
Ooh.
stocks, and this one looks like it might be a little interesting here.
Yeah, once again, Jake coming up with a good chart here. I think that stuff is like really. I went in there and bought like a banana and something else, and it was like
$20.
Yeah, I was like holy crap. But you got a very interesting technical formation here in right now as we're speaking. Last two sessions highs 52.39 and 52.40. We've hit 52.33 right off the open here. You bust through that level, you got some real estate up to 53 even, then the old gap to fill here. So good chart, Jake.
All right. Well, getting things started off right. Let's take a look at Tesla. They did report earnings after the close yesterday. I want to kind of knock out some of the earnings reports and some of the news from after the close yesterday. So I figure might as well get started with the second biggest story from after the close yesterday, which was Tesla's report. EPS came in at 33 cents versus the 19-cent estimate. Revenues were actually kind of thin, though, 615.2 million versus expected 663.32 million. But I think traders are really looking at what the margin was on those Model S's, which was higher than expected, and what their projected sales volume for the coming year is, which they said was 35,000 Model S's. So pretty incredible numbers there. What do you think of the chart? Obviously, this one's been trading all over the place because it's Tesla.
Well, I knew that 216.50 was going to be a big level, and and the reason I said that is because you had to spike up to 225 and then got back up to 218 and change. But for a majority of the pre-market trading, you traded between lower 216s and a little bit over 217. So I just split that whole 216.50 number. It looked like someone was targeting that, and then 216.36 was the high right in that bracket before we opened. We've opened lower now, kind of cascading. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the one where it's going to come down and fill the gap here. But still just keeping an eye, if I am trying it early long, still keeping an eye on that 216.50 to 217 level. You got a long ways to go to fill the gap down to 203.70.
All right, another one that reported earnings after the close yesterday was Marriott International. EPS came in at 49 cents, slightly missing expectations of 50 cents a share, while revenues came in at 3.22 billion versus expected 3.31 billion. So you got a miss on the top and the bottom line there from Marriott. Marriott is one of the stocks that WhatsApp was valued at higher than. If you believe it. They did give us some guidance, focusing on the Q1 for 2014. They guided 47 to 52 cents. Street was looking for 51, so it's putting Street estimates at the top end of that guidance, basically. While their fiscal year 2014 guidance came in between 229 and 245, Street was looking for 235. So both of those guidance reports were not so hot, and they did miss. So not so hot for the news out of Marriott there.
Yeah, stock has had a tremendous run now, back up to the highs that you had in, believe it or not, late '07. Late '07, you got up to the $52 area. I believe that's the all-time high. And you were just trying to get up there the last few sessions ago. Actually got to 51.98 in yesterday's trading here. So you've been keeping an eye on that $52 level. You've been have a good sale. Interesting, they did open it lower. They opened it, but they opened it into support here. 50.58 was Wednesday's low. Opened up at 50.57. Ticked down a nickel, off to the races. Couldn't get back to the close here. Let's keep an eye on that 51.34 high all the way up to the 54 close. That's your resistance. Now you come back down and you take out that early morning low there at 50.52. And you could tumble easily under the $50 level. I see a 49.91 low on the 14th.
Well, that kind of takes care of the earnings. I'm most interested after the close yesterday. I already covered Safeway there. Probably should circle back and look at Facebook real quick just after that huge acquisition. We know that Facebook's going to be in play today. Probably some of the other social media names are worth taking a look at. But so Joel, we've got Facebook barely showing any loss from that huge acquisition. What do you think of the chart?
Well, if I was using the all-time high close of 68.06, trying to get a short off, which I did not, I definitely would have been bailing as it got up another 45 cents from there. 68.06 was your all-time high close. You got up to 68.45. After trading at 69.08 yesterday, trading all the way under 65 in the pre-market. People are now targeting that entire 68 handle. They stopped it right there at 68.45. Coming back on the low of the day here, 67.55 low. We're just making a new low in this. Don't like it here. 67 even was your low from yesterday. That's only 40 cents away there. If you're playing it short here, keep an eye on that $67 level.
Another one that we've got to take a look at is I would say is Twitter, just because of this huge valuation in the social media space. Twitter was picking up a little bit of a boost this morning, but looks like not a whole lot anymore here. Joel, what are you thinking of Twitter? It looks like we kind of marched back up since the early February, and maybe getting a little bit going into the red here.
Yeah, it is. It is. Was trying to battle back here from the earnings miss. Actually made a low on that day at 49.99, right around the nice 50 number. You have gotten a 9-point bounce as of yesterday. Got to 58.95. That rally did not hold here. This one's kind of all over the map here. Maybe come back down, get interested here at the 54.50 level. If you're $2 away from here, You had the 9-point move off the $50 level up to 59, 50% retracement. Take you back to 54.50. That coincides with yesterday's low at 54.62. So if you're looking for a place to cover a short here, or perhaps feel you need to re-enter along, I'd wait for it to come back down to this 54.50 level.
Moving over to this morning, we did have Walmart stores reporting. That's Whiskey Mike Tango. For anyone looking at their own charts there, EPS coming in at $1.60, which was right in line, while revenues came in at $129.71 billion, slightly missing expectations of $130.63 billion. This is one that we wanted to watch because this kind of gives us a feel for consumer sentiment. Walmart really kind of sold off there at the beginning of 2014, just kind of really coming down there, and then bounced in early February. What do you think here, Joel?
73.05 open, 73.05 low here. So taking a look at this thing off the open, you had a 72.96 low on February 10th. You got within a dime of that. So 73 still the big level to keep an eye on here on the downside. Rallied up to 73.75. That still takes you another 70 cents here to get into yesterday's range with the 74.41 low here. So under 73, look out. You could be trading in the lower 72s. You had a double bottom at 72.50 on the 6th and the 7th.
Another one that reported earnings this morning was Activist, which I think is interesting because of their big acquisition earlier this week. Alpha Charlie Tango is a ticker there. EPS came in at 317 versus expected 305. Well, revenues came in strong as well at 2.78 billion versus expected 2.68 billion. So Activist, pulling out a strong report there. Looks like they're getting a little bit of strength from the news.
Right, rallying up here, pulling the FRX higher as well. You did blow through yesterday's high at 212, going up to 217 here. To me, I'd be keeping an eye on that 210. Well, we're quite a ways away from there. Made a 210.29 low. So, I don't know, just keep moving your stop up on this thing. This thing has just been on a monster run, gapped up. If you got profits in it, no sense trying to pick a top. Just move your stop up half of the range today, 7-point range so far. 213.5 would be that's 2.5 points away from here. That'd be a place where I'd look with a little caution on the long side.
Well, if you want to talk about a stock that's seriously falling right now, that'd be that of Syracuse basketball, I gotta say. Did you see that they lost last night to Boston College?
Oh, really?
Boston College was 6-19 going into the game, and they beat undefeated Syracuse in overtime by 3 points.
Okay.
Well, unbelievable.
Wow. I heard it just briefly on the radio on the way in about Boston College, but yeah. Major upset there.
Absolutely. Moving back to the markets, we do have info blocks, which is Bravo Lima Oscar X-ray, moving to the upside this morning, this time around. Now, this one got absolutely crushed a few days back when they released some it was dismal guidance, but the stock was down something like 55%, I believe. This morning they did catch an upgrade from Goldman Sachs, which that'll certainly help your share price there. They did keep a price target at $27, but they put them at a buy. So I guess Goldman thinks the stock has hit a bottom, and it really gave it some strength. Traders are kind of hopping aboard here briefly. It did go above $20. Looks like we're below that now, I believe.
Yeah.
So kind of fighting with that $20 level there.
Yeah, went to made a fresh high from the pre-market, went up to 20 in a Q, and now we pulled back here under the $20 level. I mean, good call by Goldman here. I don't think I'd rush out to buy it. I think I'd let it come back down into the lower 19s, 19 and a quarter, 19.90. Probably fills the gap that you had from yesterday's trading. Who knows? I mean, Goldman could have this stock did just cascade down on the 11th down to 17.10. I mean, they could have, had some, customers pick it up here trying to give it a little bit of a boost. But till it gets back over the $20 level here, I don't know. I'd kind of let it back and fill.
Mm-hmm. Well, looking ahead after the close today, we do have some bigger names reporting, including Hewlett Packard, which is
Oh
expected to
yeah.
do 84 cents versus 82-cent estimate. Revenue is expected to come in lighter than the last time around, 27.17 billion versus 28.36 billion the same quarter last year. So, what do you think of Hewlett Packard? I figure we might as well just kind of take a look at this chart.
Yeah, we haven't talked about all Hewlett Packard in a while here. Holding up pretty well here. Hit $30 a few times. Out nice round number was just too much for someone to resist here. Selling last few sessions. Hit 30.05 and 30.12. You also hit 30.13 here in January of this year. So that $30 level is huge. What I'm keeping it on right now in Hewlett Packard, yesterday's low was 29.26. We've dipped a few cents below that to 29.23. Also another low here at 29.18. So we are sitting on support. If in fact you do get through that 29.18 level, not much support at 29 until you get down to the three lows you had between 28.64 and 28.80.
Well, another one we want to take a look at after the close today is Priceline.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna. I think this is gonna be one of those reports that's gonna tell us that weather really was not the problem. Something tells me Priceline's gonna be doing just fine despite the terrible weather, and yet they're a travel booking company. I guess maybe you could say the bad weather helped them in a way, but then travel costs also kind of get in the way. But EPS is expected to come in at 8.29 versus 6.77 the same quarter last year, while revenue is expected to come in at 1.52 billion versus 1.19 billion the same quarter last year. Priceline has been on an absolute tear since early February. I mean, hey, absolute tear for the last couple of months in general, but this is just a wild, wild name here.
Yeah, the daily looks like a monthly there. Here you
No
were
kidding.
at 1,000. You just hit 1,300 here. I think to play this one safely here, 1270 is the level for me. Had a low at 1269.15 February 14th, and then yesterday's trading 1271. So call it 1270 if you're looking. If you're looking for an area, if you're a little nervous going into earnings here, below 1270, things open up for about another 30 points down to the 1240 level. Going back on the upside, the old time did close once over 1300. That's interesting. 1301.64. So coming back on the upside, you just got to look, between 1300 and 1382, which is the all-time high in the issue.
Well, the S&P is showing kind of a weak rally right now, while the Dow is up slightly as well. The Nasdaq is down, gold is down, crude is down, Euro US dollar is down. We've got unrest in Ukraine. Looks like that truce has been broken, and there's over 50 dead overnight from that. Shots fired all over the place. So that delicate truce that they signed yesterday afternoon seems to be out the window. Got to wonder if that's kind of weighing on the futures right now.
It is. We did continue through the pre-market high, 29.50. Snuck into the 1830 handle. The swing number for the day was 1831. We got the 1831 and a quarter. We are backing off now here. What we need to do is we need to hold this close here at 25.50. 1825.50, current low in the session. Need to hold there to go back, challenge the 1830 handle. Market trading technically this morning below 1825 and a half. If in fact we get through the close, 1823 and a quarter was your Wednesday's low, but then you fall down to the pre-market low of 1817 and a quarter. And just before we go, DJ asked about the pot stocks, and we haven't talked about them in a while here. GWPH, things have been a little bit quiet. The stock has just kind of been coming off the highs here. We are coming into some support, DJ. 53.60, excuse me, 54.50 was the low on February 3rd. You got the 54.37 here. So you are coming in, resting support. Like to see it hold in here. I would, if you're doing a swing trade from this 55 and a half level, would not let it go much below that 54.37 low that you had today. Got a lot of air under it, but looks to be stabilizing at this level. Okay, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Enjoy your trading day, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.